Following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holsthausen,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
You know what? Thanks for joining us here today at the Real Estate House. That's all I can say. Thank you.
No, you
thank you.
always go, thank you.
No, I say welcome.
Welcome to the Real Estate House Party.
I got it. Ooh, that stereo effect was all around my head. I don't know if you're doing that on purpose, Ed, but
I just carefully listened to our intro music, and it's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
It makes you want to tap your feet. And shake your
and
head.
it make you want to do a dance.
I saw Ed Sullivan, our prolific producer.
I
was
don't
dancing
usually
to that.
dance.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
Dance
I know.
of the
Yeah,
song.
you got a couple.
You
Yeah,
got a couple.
he's mad because I said Artie was a good dancer. Now he wants to.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Artie, I'm sure.
And it also has my favorite thing in it, which is just have fun.
Have fun.
It's like water country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have some fun.
Right. How do you argue with that?
Yeah,
They're
you
not
can't.
telling you how to have fun.
Right.
They're not telling you what you got to do. Just if you come here, you'll have fun.
Did you write
bet
that? Did you
people
write that
have
song?
fun listening to
Yeah.
us.
You wrote that song,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I did.
I don't remember the have fun part being, but I guess it's in there.
It's have fun.
It ends with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on in, and have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the only way you remembered our phone number.
Yeah,
by listening to the jingle.
if I had to say it,
781-944-9222.
Right.
But
That was mine.
I think
That was
they
yours,
say
right.
have some fun.
Some
you
fun.
can't have it all.
No,
Just
just
some of it.
No.
right.
Wow.
Specific to you.
Right.
Some.
I can't
Don't have it all.
No.
You can't take all the fun. Then others will be without it.
Right. Well, you could come to our office and have no fun.
Oh,
2 minutes into the show. How long did that take?
I gotta think your office is just rocking all the
We're
time.
rocking.
Our office is rocking.
We're rocking
We
all
have
the time.
never been busier.
Right.
Right.
We have
Oh,
never been
I'm glad.
busier.
I'm glad.
It's really exciting.
Seems like the show's paying off.
It shows,
really
You know what it is?
exciting.
See, check out the studio audience, all the people that have come in just to see
Sure.
it.
I have this watch that if your blood pressure or your heart rate
Yeah.
goes up
Yeah.
above a certain, it tells you to breathe. Mine's like on a constant breathe.
Breathe, just
It's
breathe.
like breathe, breathe, breathe. I go, I am breathing. It's just very,
Just barely.
it's a fast breathe. But I got more steps yesterday.
Not rapid, shallow breaths. Deep, long.
I got more steps running around that office like a chicken with my head cut off yesterday than I did
It almost
on
penalizes.
Sunday.
It almost penalizes us for having vacation.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
because
Yeah.
the shit doesn't go away.
Right.
It just
It's
piles
all
up.
And you know,
jammed into the
what
following
happened?
week.
You know, what
Yeah.
happened last week was like people were on like cruise control starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Of
and I was
course.
on high alert.
Yeah.
So I'm emailing everybody, hoping to get some
And you
answers
get
by the
no
Wednesday.
answers. Yeah, get nothing.
And then Friday, people started appearing.
Right.
And then I saw we didn't work though.
Wait a minute. I was going to say.
We didn't work,
okay,
but
all right.
I was like
You
on the
monitored.
beach.
Don't
I
make it
had a-
sound like you were working Wednesday and Friday
No.
diligently
Wednesday, I was diligently working.
till 11.
No, I left at
Right.
like 2.
Listen, you know it's backing up when you're on the beach and one of those planes with the banners behind it comes by and says, "Kathy called John Maroney." That's got to be a
Can't seem
tip
to get a
off.
hold of you
Right.
anywhere. Yeah.
Hey, look, 2-for-1 drinks and call John Maroney. What?
We can't find John Maroney. He's down the Cape.
Oh, he's down the Cape. Unless he's at his summer office in Revere.
Yeah.
So you know what we're going to talk about today? And there's a reason we have no other real estate legends other than you two on, because everyone says there's no issues with that. There's no issues with that. So today we're going
I
to...
see issues
Okay.
every
So that's where we are.
step of the way.
So today we're here to save a lot of people their deposit money.
Oh, nice.
We're going to try to save a lot of aggravation during the closing process.
What are your thoughts on interest right now?
Going down.
going
down continually.
It's only going to get.
Should we?
It's
should
only
we
going to get busier.
should people hold off, or should they?
That's a tricky
pull
one.
the trigger
That's
now?
a tricky one because I think what happens is,
It
again,
depends on what your interest rate is.
Right.
You know, if you're at 4%, you're looking for like what
You want to
3.75
refinance. They're in the threes
or
now.
I heard 311.
That's a APR though, and there's a big difference.
It might be an
between
adjustable.
APR,
That's an adjustable?
It could
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't
You
like
could.
that.
Now, that's one good. You guys are hitting on a very good point right off the bat.
Only thing I want to adjust is my underwear
Same.
every now and again.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that gets adjusted on.
Yeah.
Right.
No other adjustments.
No.
Oh, I get my back adjusted though.
Oh, that's nice.
once a month.
Yeah.
I can tell I'm here to keep you two in line today because you two are all over the board.
Because if you guys want to be healthy, you need to go to a chiropractor once a month and
Right.
stay aligned.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. For our chiropractor show, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to talk a little
I'm
real
just
estate.
telling you.
All right. All right. So this is what we're going to talk about.
You know, there's an old saying
Tony.
that goes, if you give up your spine, you can't complain about which way your back is broken.
Wow.
Right.
Is that an old saying?
That-
Because
I
that's the
just-
first
Did
I
you
ever
make
heard of
that?
that.
Are you making this shit up? It makes sense.
Dad, prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. Prove
It
me
sounds
wrong.
like you got it from a fortune cookie at the Kowloon.
Wouldn't you love to have us say, oh, yeah, I've heard of that expression
yeah.
before all the time?
I have a lot of expressions no one's ever heard of.
Do you want
And they mostly start with go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or good.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Good for you.
Right.
Good for
So
you.
know one thing that just came up. You cannot close in the state of Massachusetts without a certificate of compliance or a smoke certificate saying that there are working
Fire.
whatever
alarms.
fire detectors in
And
your house.
Does it have to be carbon
Hardwired.
monoxide? Too,
Yeah,
though?
yeah, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But people are like, oh yeah, well we're closing on the 18th. Oh,
So
they're
let me
doing
call the
ins-
fire department on the 17th.
They're doing the inspection on the afternoon of the 17th. Well, that's all well and fine, and we're going to all jump through hoops to do a closing. There's a lot that goes into that closing on the 18th, but come the afternoon of the 17th, and there's a problem with
Can
one
we
of the
back up related to that point?
yeah fire detectors.
Related to that point is people don't understand the time frames mentioned in a purchase and sale are very important. The mortgage commitment date and the closing date.
Well, and you got to have all hands on deck. If you're buying a house,
You can tell
right?
she just wants to get a lot of her aggravation
Yeah.
out today.
If you're
That's all
buying
right.
a house,
Yeah.
you have to be reachable. You have to be contactable.
Right.
You have to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you don't hear from anyone, maybe we have your wrong phone number, or you got to listen to, you got to read your emails. You have to answer your voicemails. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like these people disappear,
They just think it's
and they
done.
think everyone's
Right.
doing other work, but we have questions.
Here's the thing. I really have the solution to this, and I'm not kidding even a little. The problem is
Okay.
the problem is legal size paper. Nobody reads that shit.
I know.
My eyes glaze over.
Why is there legal size paper?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know who made it legal. I don't know
Why?
who's using illegal paper. I don't know how any of that works. But what I'm saying is, right, you start reading the thing with paragraphs and subparagraphs and, this and that and see addendum A, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
Here's what you got to do. You send them the thing, they sign it. And then you get a big poster board with the important dates on it that they hang in their kitchen with
Yeah.
a checkbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On this date, call these people.
Yeah.
I like
By this
that.
date, sign that, so you hang it up so where you see it on the door every day.
You're hitting a good idea because there is a lot that goes into buying a house, but it's not necessarily like the legal end, like our end,
Right.
or the dates.
Right,
You
that
got
stuff's gonna play
movers
out.
lined up. You got
Yes.
to pack up your
Yes.
old house. So you have so much to do that.
Yes.
That people get so
Yes.
overwhelmed. So if you have it all spelled out, because I
Right.
got to do this today, I got to do this
Right.
today, I got to do. But you got to stay in contact
Right.
with your
Like
real
a
estate agent.
transaction report.
Well, a
Yeah.
This is
transaction.
what happens.
This
Yeah.
is what happens on these dates with a big check box next
Today
to it.
we have to get the purchase and sale signed.
Yes.
Next we got a financing
Yes.
date. Next we got
And
a
if you're
home inspection
closing-
date. Next
and
we
if
got to
you're-
get a smoke detector
Right.
date.
And
Right.
if your closing date is on July 23rd, and
Don't
the
start working
closing-
on this on the 22nd.
Right.
and the closing attorney calls to schedule your closing on the 23rd, and they say,
Have you done this, and
no,
this?
they say, you know what, I can't miss work.
Right.
Well, then you can't buy
You
the
can't buy it.
house.
You're not getting a house.
Right, and if you do have a
Right.
scheduling problem, you might want to call your real estate agent or
Sure.
the closing attorney and make arrangements.
Right.
But to find out the day before the closing that they can't take work off when
Right.
it's in their contract and
Right.
their deposit's in jeopardy if they don't perform.
Right. Yeah.
That's
See?
the bottom line,
Right.
We
right?
had that one borrower who we said 2 o'clock in the afternoon for the closing.
Not good.
Not good. I'm driving around Rhode Island all morning. I'm gonna be
Oh,
tired
yeah,
of
Molly.
it. And I don't want to say her name
Molly.
because
She's probably listening.
I know. All right, so
Yeah, July 28th. Text Uncle Eddie. Get your shit and get out of the basement. It's important stuff like
We've
that.
talked about this, but we've had sellers, argue about the time. They want to close at 9, and we want to close at 12, and then
Right.
they like the purchase and sale agreement says 9, so we say okay, 9 o'clock it is, and everybody like changes all their schedule.
Sure.
And then he shows up they all show up at the closing, and he goes, "I didn't know I was supposed to be out by 9."
he left all his stuff in. Not just
Well,
Hadn't
you
packed
not
up.
just a
everything.
couple plants.
Everything.
you ripped yourself off 3 hours of moving,
Right.
because of whatever reason,
Right.
but you didn't even get out of the house.
Right. Once somebody owns the house, it's no longer yours.
Right.
That should be. That's,
It's so
I
obvious.
don't know how simple.
I've heard that expression before too.
Right.
All right, so here's today's theme. We have done.
We're really working.
No, we're not.
All right.
Evidently not.
Number 1.
Go ahead. Number one. What's the
Start at the top.
Here's number 1. We have 30 different ideas. Here's number 1. Call us. How's that?
That's good.
rcarter at carterclosings.com.
Well, that's an email. If you want to call
They get Skype that way.
781-944-9222, and anybody in our office can help you.
On the
Right.
buyer side and the seller side, we have seen so many closings where little things affect the money
The big,
aspect.
right.
So we haven't
You're like the Bosley of the real estate world.
okay. well,
Charlie's
listen.
Angels.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
you're right. You're
yeah.
right. You're right.
You know what I mean?
And
Right.
we're the angels.
You
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
Angels.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got Kathy,
Where's my gun?
Renee, Ronell,
and Kathy.
And Kathy.
Right.
You're like the
and I'm
Bosley.
just sitting behind and I just bark out orders.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
When are we going to have
I thought you meant Bosley, the hair transplant or something.
Oh
like
my
that.
God!
No.
All right,
I don't even know
Bosley.
who that is.
Yeah, Bosley, the guy that you never really saw very much, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Just
Just
on the
box out
strings.
orders.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. No, I
Yeah.
like that. That's kind of
Who
what I
were
do.
the Charlie's Angels? Kate,
Farrah
Farrah
Fawcett.
Fawcett
Farrah
was one.
Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith,
Jacqueline Smith and,
and
Kate
Jackson.
Jackson.
Kate
Wow.
Jackson.
Thank you. Ed with
Wow.
a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Ed.
I'll be Farrah.
Okay.
Well, you'll have to
Well, you're
check
here,
my
you-
poster over
You
then.
get it big. When are we going to have Renee Carter on the show?
I know she's probably watching right now.
Yeah.
We should have her on.
I would
No,
love
they're
to
not
have you as a
watching.
guest.
They're busy.
They're busy.
They're busy working.
They're busy.
Bosley, you did see, by the way.
You did
You saw.
Charlie, you didn't.
Charlie, you didn't see. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Right.
right,
Bosley
right.
was the guy. So
Yeah.
maybe you're the Charlie. No, he's the Bosley.
We
The other
can see it.
Bosley.
Yeah,
I can see
yeah,
it.
you
But
can
we
see
want to
it.
know who's bossing you around.
Right,
Because it's
right.
Charlie
Who's pulling his
bossing
strings.
Bosley.
Right.
I think it's one of the angels bossing me around.
Right.
I won't mention her name.
Farrah.
All right. So,
I will not interrupt until we get to at least number 2.
Number 1.
call us. All right.
That's
So,
one.
That's not on the list as number 1.
I know, but I have a
1A.
feeling we're not going to get through a lot of these. So,
No, let's do it.
So what we see is how to preserve people's deposit money, and on the seller end, how to make it seamless so they're not losing money, aggravation, time.
Well,
So
that's what
let's-
our job is, to make it
I know.
seamless.
So
but
we-
if everyone doesn't do their job, if every person doesn't do their job, it's
Right.
not seamless.
Right. It's just like a commute with the traffic. If everyone just
Yeah, one person
hitting the
F's it
next
up.
guy, right?
Right.
That's
Well,
an
one
expression
person
I've heard.
tapping
That's a
their
new. That's a. We should
new-
write these.
Tapping their
expressions
Isn't that
drinks.
right?
Yeah.
If everyone just relaxes, do their job.
Right.
Or
But
like the
you always
guy
got
at the
one guy
car
who
wash. The guy at the car wash this morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's a big, huge check trying to go through the car wash. And I figured I'm just going to pop right in. And this wasn't my morning, but there's a big truck, a car, and then I come along, and it's usually they just funnel everyone through.
Right.
And then there's 3 cars behind me, and the big truck is having a problem, can't go through the car wash. So
Right.
you
The
know
truck
that
has to back up.
the truck needs to get out of the bay.
Sure.
So we all have to back. Like
Back
it was
up,
the biggest
sure.
cluster I've ever seen.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I
Right.
mean? So that truck or something screwed up.
Right.
Screwed up. The
I've seen
morning.
that at Starro Drive.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It says maximum height,
Height.
10,
Oh.
10, and
Right.
some 12-foot bus thinks he can go through it.
There's always idiots going. Well, I'm only 6 feet tall. I should have no problem at all.
There's always idiots.
Where I saw it, I guess going to New York. I went to New York last week, and I saw it on the Merritt Parkway. You know, there was a
Although
truck.
that Parkway isn't bad.
No, but it still has low bridges.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
really
how-
low
as
bridges,
a car,
yeah.
but you shouldn't have a truck on it.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
There was a truck, you know, like in the right lane, and it wasn't going to go any further. I don't know how it got on, but if the truck could have shrugged, it would have. And it just,
Well, at some point, they shouldn't be on that parkway.
no, and it clearly
and
says
then they're just going to take their chances,
Right,
and think maybe the bridge changed
But then
heights.
there's
I don't know.
You know how they take care of that?
they deflate tires.
Yeah, they deflate the tires,
Yeah.
bring it down that
And
way.
then tow
I mean,
it.
it's got to be within. It's got to be within
A
reason.
few inches, yeah.
Well,
You're
But
not
I
gonna-
mean, this
You're
truck.
not going to take a foot and a half
No, this
off.
truck wasn't going anywhere. I mean, it would have been
Right,
like a
right.
cork in this bridge.
Yeah, but how many
know.
miles of backup did it cause?
I mean, I was at the beginning, so it didn't screw me up, but it was gonna. I mean, because I know the state police were going to be called, and there was going to be some backing up or
Yeah.
a U-turn done
yeah.
to get them off.
All
Yeah,
it
yeah.
takes is one idiot.
A flock of idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, number one, Rick, you say need to do a home inspection.
No. Let's jump
No,
over
no.
because we have about 3 minutes left. So
No, no. So
no, let's talk about one we always talk about that just grates on my nerves. There, people don't understand, and I'm going to give you a new example of this. They don't understand the mortgage financing date. So July 10th.
you're the only one that understands
I know
it.
it just so July
the
10th
only
comes
one.
along. You have to get your financing in place by July 10th, and everyone thinks, "Oh, I got my commitment letter. I am all set." We've always talked about this a million
Oh,
times
right.
about the person who was supposed to give statements to show that they were getting child support.
Right.
Here's another one. This guy let the financing date go a couple weeks before the closing. He has an FHA loan, and they say, "Oh, by the way, you have to paint the house to get approved for your FHA
Yeah, or
loan."
the shed, or the propane
shed.
tank in the
Yeah,
back.
Exactly. So now you've gone by your commitment date.
Right. You haven't done the work.
Haven't done the work,
Right.
and the seller says, "I'm not doing that work."
Right.
And it's on the buyer to paint the house that he's purchasing
Does
In
it come
order
off?
to get the
in
financing.
order to get the financing.
Does the seller have to pay for it?
Nope.
No.
It's by the financing date.
Well, why are you telling people that? Now they're all going to do it.
Well, listen, if you
Don't tell stuff like
if you
that.
called your attorney the day before the financing was due and said, "I don't have my financing in place," or there's 5
Conditions on it.
conditions that I'm still trying to meet,
Right.
Yeah.
Rick would call the seller's attorney and say, "Can we extend out the financing?"
I
date?"
see.
Right.
So you have
right.
to get an extension.
Extension.
Right.
And
Right.
There's not very many sellers that won't agree to a 5-day extension because they don't want to put their house back on the market
Right.
because they're already moving and buying another house.
Was it before then? Was it incumbent on the seller to do that
It
work?
could have been.
It could be
It
if-
says as a condition, and I forget how it's phrased, but repairs may be needed for FHA finance. It was
Right.
Probably like a general blank statement.
Right.
And then they said, "All right, well, I got my financing. I'm supposed to get it in by July 10th." They think it's some sort of marker that they have to hit.
Right.
So they said, "All right, I got my financing commitment. I'm all set."
Commitment.
Well, a commitment letter is not really worth the paper
No.
it's written
Right.
on because
No.
you turn to the very last page and there's
Sure.
conditions and it says like pending appraisal,
Right.
a lot of pendants.
That's a good one.
pending bank statements.
Sure.
Okay, so what if I can't find my bank
Right.
statements
Right.
or pending 2018 tax returns? What if I didn't?
We get a lot of those lately.
What if
Right.
I didn't file my taxes?
And
So there's all kinds of
good-
conditions that you
right.
have to meet in order to have your financing
right.
complete.
And until you meet those requirements,
Right.
that
You don't
document
have financing.
is birdcage liner.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a buyer the other day say, "I'm not doing these conditions. I already have my commitment letter."
Right.
They're missing the point. They got to
Right.
be watching Real Estate House Party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through all the foolishness, through
all
all
the
the
foolishness.
smoke
But you know
and
what's
mirrors
amazing?
here,
You know what's
there's
amazing?
information that people need on this podcast.
That's right.
But even after you give those conditions of the financing,
right.
it still has to go to the underwriter and it still has to be approved. That isn't I can't just say, "Oh, I sent
Right,
in my
right,
tax
right.
returns.
Right,
I'm
right.
all set."
Right.
There's a reason
Financing-
they're looking at it.
Right. So it goes to like the underwriting department, and those underwriting departments are unreachable. Like we, as a closing attorney, cannot call an underwriter and check on status. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, of
So
course.
so they have to approve
You're not their
that.
parents. Jesus.
Well,
So Rick,
we're not.
what you're saying is it's a commitment letter provided you meet the conditions.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and
Ed
that they're
Sullivan.
satisfactory to the underwriter.
Thank you, Ed
And if
Sullivan.
they're not, you have no commitment.
Right.
Right.
It's like
right.
a marriage.
Right.
And some people don't have all those satisfied until the day before the closing,
Right.
and the financing date has
Has
gone
gone-
out the
gone
windows.
by the
So
window.
guess what? They lose their deposit monies if they can't come up with cash to buy the
Right,
house
right.
because they don't have the financing.
Right.
And you would lose not only the money, that $1,000 you gave at offer,
Yeah,
but the
your
5%
deposit. Yeah.
at purchase and sale stage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the other one related to that is, and this is why we don't have a banker on today, because they always say that's no problem. It's no problem.
No, it's never a problem.
Never a
'cause they're
problem.
not doing it.
If you lose your job the day before the closing, it might be a little bit of a curveball.
Little
I
problem.
know, I know originates. So you got to make sure your job is stable.
You can't change your job
Your
a week before your
finances.
closing. You can't buy a car the week before your closing.
We always tell the story about the girl Jordan, so excited going from a 5-room to a 10-room house, buying all sorts of furniture.
Furniture
Jordan's
to fill
furniture
the house.
to fill the
Because-
house, and no longer qualified for the loan.
Because what the lender does is they do a verbal verification of employment after, like right before the closing, like
Right,
the day before the
the day
closing. They
before.
call up and say, "Is
Hey,
Kathy
they're
Holzhauser still
still
working there?" And if they say
Define work.
no, wait a minute, Tony. I've never worked so hard in my life. But you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
so you might think
Now, I
that,
wanted to go on record that if you get fired, it's all a scam, and the state of New Hampshire should be all over you for doing it. Because didn't she request for us to fire her
I wanna
so
be
she could get
fired.
unemployment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's now documented.
Yeah.
If she does do that,
Yeah.
they're going to be
But
watching this
Right.
podcast.
But the hitch in the plan was she still wants to fly first class.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to hang on to her job.
She doesn't want to lose any perks.
No.
No.
But hasn't it always been like that? My cake. I want my
Right.
cake and eat it too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got about 3 trips already lined
I know.
up.
Yeah, I do.
Right.
Yep.
Is that fair?
I think it's odd that you get fired every time before you go to Casamano. It seems odd to her. Are you looking for work down there? Are you? Are you? I'm on the beach every day. Anybody got work?
You can't get fired. You can get unemployment, right? How would you go
because you
in-
work for yourself.
I work for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good thing is I'm also employee of the month most months.
That's amazing. I'm so
I have
proud of you.
I have my own parking spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm the CEO of
Do you
me.
do your own staycations?
I do. I stay.
in Billerica.
I do. I have a staycation.
All right. What else do we have? So how else can we save the money?
Let's talk another story.
I have thousands of stories. Matter of fact,
Anybody that tells a buyer, "Oh, you don't need owner's title insurance,"
should be taken out
Oh, we've
back.
had a whole show on this.
Yes.
You need
title
title
insurance.
insurance.
owner's title insurance,
Right.
it's optional.
Yeah.
It's a
one-time
one-time
charge.
premium.
Why do they make it optional?
Because it's not the lender makes you get loan policy title insurance.
Right.
So if they have to foreclose on the property, they're
covered.
Yeah, they're covered.
Yeah.
But if there's ever a glitch in we do a 50-year title search. If
Right.
there's ever anything wrong, and we've seen an owner's policy come into play. I have one closing this week.
So you come and play every week. We have 2 or 3 issues.
So the biggest one is like incorrectly discharged mortgages.
Yeah.
Behind the time you bought it. When you bought it, if there's a problem, it could slow down your closing or stop your closing, right?
Yep.
Sure. No one wants an unsightly
I'll give you another
discharge.
example. Another attorney was telling me this today, and it had closed about 4 or 5 times. They bought it through a foreclosure years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And sold. This title examiner was very, very good and found out in the description of the foreclosure, the mortgage lapsed. So the mortgage wasn't even valid. So they couldn't foreclose on it because it was no longer a valid mortgage. So they took over. They foreclosed on a mortgage that didn't have any effect.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
so
they
that's a
really
new
would
one.
need a deed from the
Exactly.
the people that
Correct.
owned it
So
at the time that they got foreclosed on.
So what happened is they went back to those original people, and of course they
Capitalized?
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to say yes.
That's a good word, capitalized.
Yeah. So you're right. So if you had title insurance, the title insurance company would just came in and negotiated.
And what they
taking-
do is the title insurance company will indemnify us and
That's a
indemnify
big-
us
that's a big
and
word. What's it mean?
undertake to fix the problem.
All right, what's indemnify mean?
Means like they're going to take full responsibility.
We're gonna cover your ass.
All right,
Yeah,
okay.
That's
they're
what
going
it
to
means.
take
we
full
got you.
responsibility for this problem because that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
in a life insurance policy, if you die,
Hold you harmless.
yeah,
Ah,
yes, you got it.
Ah, great.
Yep. If you die,
You're
they have to
starting
pay it.
scare me.
I've never been indemnified.
Well,
You know what?
we can indemnify
If
you.
we knew how to do that job down there,
Yeah.
one of us would go down there and you would be up here.
Listen, I just throw in random shit.
Well, listen, I could do that for you if you would show me a couple of those
Yeah.
buttons that you.
There aren't that many buttons.
Right.
You'd be good at it.
And then I could just be the Charlie.
And you know what you
the
could do?
Charlie.
You could mute Rick whenever you want.
Ooh, now she's definitely posturing.
Is
to
that
get
what you're
job.
doing to me, Mr. Ed Sullivan?
Mr. Modulator, people spend more time on planning their next vacation than planning out their mortgage.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
short-sighted.
That seems right to me.
And X amount of people, 41% applying for loans said they did not know of their different loan options. Everyone usually goes with a 30-year fixed. But some people should probably think through that a little bit. If you're only going to stay in the house for 3 years,
Right, you get an adjustable.
get an adjustable.
Or if
You only have-
you know in your future that you're like kind of like me that you know that your salary is going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
You know, like in the future
Sure.
you're going to make more money.
Right.
You can get like an adjustable,
Right,
Because
right.
then
It'll keep
you have
up.
more buying power.
Right.
Or if you're only planning to work another 15 years like you, and you
Another 2 years.
Is
Is
there-
there a 2
there's
year?
no
is
2-year
there-
mortgages.
So if you get an adjustable, are you only saving on the rate, or does it
Correct.
directly goes into your pocket?
You're just
Well,
not paying as
you're not
much
paying
each
as
month.
much.
Yeah.
Right. So you could get, well, we shouldn't quote rates because people are going to listen to this podcast for
Whenever.
years.
These are all
For years.
fake
but,
numbers.
But you can get an
For
adjustable in the
instances.
twos now.
You can get an
What?
adjustable
In
in
the
the
twos.
twos.
Oh, I gotta go.
You heard me.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Again,
call my
as of
buddy.
today's date.
Yeah.
So don't call us in 2024. Say I was watching your podcast.
Right.
Rates are 9%.
The thing
but
is
yes,
that when the rate goes down, people have more buying power.
I
They can
see.
buy a bigger,
Bigger
better
a
house.
right. You know what else helps you with? Because when you're applying for other debt, they ask you how much your monthly mortgage payment is.
Right.
And if you got a loan at 2 3/4, you're looking pretty good.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So what a lot of people do is, they get that lower rate, and then they maybe use that extra money they're saving and pay off some of the principal.
Right.
But I guess the point is, 41% of the people said, "I wish we'd shopped around a little
Yeah.
bit more for mortgages."
Yeah.
So.
Well, call Carter Law. They'll
Call
help
Carter
you.
Law.
We'll help you.
You know people who can help you shop. And
We know
Yeah.
people.
You know people that can, fit your
Well,
needs.
typically, if you get
You
a
should be at our concierge table. You should be the concierge.
no, but typically,
That
if a
sounds like
buyer
work.
if a buyer calls us and looking for a referral to a loan
Right.
officer, which doesn't happen very often,
Right.
we're going to send them to someone that we work well with, and
Right.
we know
And-
isn't going to rip them off, and they're going to get to the end pretty seamlessly.
Right.
So
If they do what you say.
yeah,
they do what
But
they
if they
say.
go
Yeah.
renegade and go off the reservation and
Yeah, a lot of
probably
people
not a
do go
politically
renegade,
correct term.
yeah.
Right. A lot of people, you're right, don't know about the closing costs and maintenance costs after the fact.
well, that's the scary thing. Is like I can afford a $700,000 house.
And I'm going to deplete my whole savings
I'm gonna
just so I don't have to
right.
get mortgage insurance.
But I can't afford to buy furniture. I can't afford to
Food.
put oil in the tank.
My kids haven't gone to school. They have no shoes.
There's a beautiful pool, but we can't afford to maintain the pool because we
Right.
can't get the chemicals. The yard is going to turn into a disaster because you can't afford to maintain it. Like
Right.
you need professional
Right.
landscapers
I
or
mean-
whatnot.
Right. You think about it like when you buy a car.
Yeah.
There's, you can afford the car, but then you got to insure it.
Yep.
Keep it up, your maintenance. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
thing, only it's
Yeah.
not
Are
going
you
anywhere.
talking to us or Ryan Carter right now?
I'm talking to anyone under the age of 35 right now. You morons.
You always should buy a used car.
Right. Right.
1 year old, right?
Yeah.
All right, some quick tips. Moving companies. You got to be careful moving companies.
Yeah.
You really got to critique them.
Sure. Make sure they're insured.
Make sure they're insured.
Sure.
I had
Yeah. Don't get your neighbors to do it.
Right. I had
If
I had
you
a
like your
couple
dining room
called me a
set.
month after the closing and said the moving van couldn't take all the furniture, so they said we'd have another trip for that. A month later, it's still sitting.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Because what they were doing wasn't so much. So they were putting it. So evidently, a lot of families were in that situation. So they just put it on one
Yeah.
moving van.
Yeah.
So you had like six families, all with their little.
Oh
extra.
my God, what a
Yeah.
It was
cluster.
Oh.
Yeah. Stay away from Limpy's moving company. Then
In clusters, you might want to stay away from.
Clusters,
too.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. What else you
Oh,
got?
I'm change the locks, right?
Change. You do have to change the locks.
you do?
You know what's really cool, you guys, is I don't know if you have it in your house.
Who
but
does? The buyer or the seller?
The buyer
buyer.
should change the lock.
As soon as you move in.
Just the tumblers. You don't have to do the whole locks.
We got keyless entry, so you never locked out of your house because you know your code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have a
Doesn't
cleaning
Stu have a
service,
video? Doesn't he have on-site surveillance of your house?
oh yeah, but we also have the Ring
Doesn't want her
doorbell.
going out
Oh, you
at
have
night.
the. I want to get the ring.
But we haven't installed it yet.
Oh.
because you have to get an electrician. But
Does
yeah,
it,
we have.
Does
a
it work when it
surveillance.
just sits in the box in the living
No.
room?
yeah, it
all
just
right.
sees the top of the box.
Yeah.
Hey, someone opened
Yeah,
the
well, it
box
doesn't have
today.
the batteries in
Like
it.
those fake the stickers on the front.
But the keyless entry
Security
is great.
by ADT, and you don't have anything, right?
Like, so if you have a cleaning service, you can give them their own code.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Then you know who's coming in.
So, because the code comes up and
Yeah.
you
Now,
go,
no
ah,
more cleaning service for you when you go on unemployment.
I don't have a cleaning service.
Yeah.
Right.
It's called Me, Myself, and I.
I was wondering this the other night, and it's tangentially, apropos to what we're talking about.
Tangentially
Tangential,
apropos. Okay,
yeah.
let's hear it.
Do you think anyone has keys to the White House?
So but let's back up. That's somewhat related to what we're talking about?
Yeah, well, you
Oh, the
said
keys.
key.
Oh, okay.
They might have a keyless entry there.
Yeah. Like, you think someone goes, did anyone lock the front door before the president went to bed?
I think they have enough security. They tell
Did you shut
never
off the
have
stove?
Right. Listen, I'm going to run out to the packy. Anyone got the key?
Did someone let the cat out?
The packy.
Right.
Back, he's from Charlestown.
Yeah.
I love that.
Again, do you think the president, and I don't mean this one specific, I'm not being
No,
political here, I'm
no.
just the president in the largest sense.
So
of
he
the
goes home
word. You think-
hammered some night and he can't get the keys
Hey,
to the front
hey.
door?
He's yelling up to the wife, hey, let me
No.
in.
No.
These keys never work at
Have
night.
you ever seen the president go anywhere by himself?
No.
They have people surrounding them. I'm sure that there's somebody responsible for locking the White House.
Right.
Aren't you a killjoy? Okay.
But do you think the door's ever locked? Is what I'm
No.
saying. Also, do you think a president, any president, again, not being political, I'm saying president in
Yeah.
the largest sense of the word, has money on him?
No.
You know, like if you
No.
try, hey, you got
Hey,
$5
what do you need?
for a
What do you
coffee,
need?
yeah.
hey, you got a couple bucks for the car.
Anyone with a couple hundred? Yeah, what do you need? What do you need?
No, I don't think he has any money on him.
I just wonder these things.
Yeah.
You know?
He
Seems
only
like-
gets paid $1.
Right.
Of course, he doesn't have any money on him.
Yeah, if I had any money, I'd buy a key for the door. I don't know how it works.
Should we end on that thought? Donald Trump walking around with, what, you got some more?
Jingle jangle.
Jiggle jaggle. Stay within your budget. We know that. You should do your home inspection. Even if you waive your home inspection, you should do it for informational purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've run into that a lot lately.
And you should actually do your homework on who you get for a home inspector.
Good point.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah.
You can't ask a broker. You can't ask an attorney.
Your guy
Someone
didn't
who's
want to go on the
interested.
roof, right?
Mine didn't want to go. I asked my husband, what do you think the roof's like in the new house we bought? He goes, I don't know. Our inspector wouldn't go up. I go, what do you mean? He goes, he didn't want to climb the ladder. I said, oh, okay.
I don't know how you can do that though. You can kind of specify what you want to do in your job. It's almost like us saying, "Oh, we didn't do a
Stu
title
bought
search."
into it. He didn't care because you can see the roof from the driveway or whatever, and he's in the industry. And
This is where drones
But
come
that's
in.
unusual. We've had
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, I had my uncle come over and look
Yeah.
at it. He said it was fine."
right.
Right. I'm not sure. You should do.
Yeah, you shouldn't take your uncle's word for it. And typically, an uncle or a parent of a millennial can derail an entire closing.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
you got to do the final walkthrough.
Yep.
Because I've heard of sellers taking the fixtures out of the property without telling the
Telling
buyers
anybody.
that they're taking it, or replacing good fixtures
With a crack.
Yeah.
the old
Yeah, yeah.
bait and switch.
a little bait and switch there. Oh boy, we
Yeah.
have a lot of these, don't we?
Yeah, you can just call us. We could give you.
That was my original point.
Yeah, 781-944-9222.
And you think you've seen everything,
Right.
You have.
Something else.
We
You
haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't.
Sure.
So, wow, you
That-
guys are good.
and-
I hear applause out there.
Let
in
me-
the,
Oh, that was
Yeah.
me.
no,
that was me going
you
like this.
sure? All right, because everyone's getting a little crazy now.
All right, we gotta go. I gotta go back to work.
You got to go back to work because it's your last week, and you got to bump up your salary because the unemployment takes that into consideration, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Donald Trump, if you're watching, let us know if you have keys to the White House. All right. Thanks for joining
He
us.
doesn't.
The Real Estate House Party. See you next week if we're all employed. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.